take your hobby to the next level with a quality racing rig that works great with a PS3, Xbox 360, and a PC. GT Omega Racing Simulator is compatible with a wide range of steering wheels, including Logitech, Fanatic, Thrustmaster, and more. The GT Omega is available now worldwide by going to www.gtomegaracing.com.
Good evening everybody and welcome to ARL TV. This is round 8 of the iRacing Grand Prix Road to Pro series, coming to you live from Sebring International. I'm joined in the commentary box with Andrew Woodhouse. Good evening fella, how you doing? And apparently he's not there. He's having some technical issues. I'm sure we'll get that sorted out, and we'll hear from Andrew very, very shortly. Just disconnected and reconnecting. While we wait for him to come back in and the session to load up, let's just take a look at this week's track guide.
Hello and welcome to 4Racer IRAC Track Guides. In the New Year's Eve of 1950, a sports car endurance race took place at an old Air Force base, which later became one of the toughest and most recognized endurance races in the world. The track became known as Sebring International Raceway, and it hosts a number of races throughout the year, mainly the 12 Hours of Sebring, but also other races, and it's the winter home for the well-known Skip Barber Racing School. The circuit has had its configuration changed a few times, but the most prominent feature has remained, the track surface. Even today parts of the tracks are made of concrete slabs, and the seams are anything but even. Almost every spot of the track is very bumpy, which limits the setup options quite severely. The cars need high downforce to have at least some grip, even though the track has a few long straights. Mechanically, the drivers can either have really soft suspension and compromise aerodynamic performance, or really stiff suspension to have good control of car ride height and keep the car from bottoming out in the bumps. Our driver for today is Max Delorco. Let's have him talk us through how to take the car around this challenge.
Hi guys, I am Max Delorco and this is Sebring. This track is a very bumpy track, so the setup is very important overall for the race distance. This is the main straight that will bring us on the first turn, a left-hander, very fast and very bumpy, so be careful on the exit overall, don't use much the curve. Then we arrive to the first chicane, very slow chicane, don't use much the curve because they are very high. For this left-hander, stay inside here and try to have a good traction for the big bend part of the track. This little straight that will bring us to the hairpin, probably the slowest turn of the track. Stay inside the curve, but don't use the terrain because it will let us oversteer easily. We arrive to the Fangio complex of the track, this straight that will be with us to the next turn, the Cunningham. Stay inside here and pay attention to the acceleration because the track is very slippery and it is easy to oversteer. We arrive to the tower turn, this bumpy turn with a non-friendly exit curve, so be careful also there. And we are in the Bishop complex, very fast complex with this right-hander, very fast. Don't use much the curve in both this turn because they are very slippery, this curve. And finally we are to the last turn, the Le Mans turn. Use all the curve on exit because it is very flat, and we are on the last straight that will bring us on the last turn, the Sunset Bend, a very fast turn, overall very bumpy in the end, so a good balance here is required. Pay attention on the exit and good luck for the race. See you on track.
Welcome back to ARL TV. We're just about to load into the session. A few seconds left, guys. Just joining now. I think our commentator might be with us. Andrew, you there this time?
Yes, I'm here, mate. Thank you.
Here's a few technical glitches there, as always. It's ARL TV after all. Sebring International, you're probably not quite loaded in yet as well, so tricky track, lots of bumps, going to be very interesting today.
Yeah, there's some very tight corners on this circuit, and also there's some tricky sections as well, surface changes, high curbs. Quite a difficult one for these guys today.
Yeah, well, just while you're loading in, I'm just quickly going to bring up the grid. Guys are actually forming up at the moment. Pole position for the week then, Samuel De La Fuente with a 130.7. Kazuki Omishima takes second place with 130.745, so very close. Timu Evening also with a 130.7. Richard Avery on a 30.9. Rafa Bordoy with a 31.0. Matt Hannigan, Ramses, Javier, Jorge, and Paolo round out your top 10. Sorry for whizzing through these. Benjamin, Cyprian, Frank, Anthony, and Luis, followed by Justin and Cyrus. Right, just last of the cars at the moment, just forming up, ready for the start. Just want to give a shout out and to everybody that's watching. Thanks for tuning in. Send us some messages on the chat or via Twitter. As the revs start to build, lights come on, and we are racing here at Sebring. And it looks like Timu got a fantastic start. Carnage in there. It's one of the Twister Racing cars on a GT Ross. Justin having to take avoiding action. Perhaps not what we wanted to see there, but who was it who got bogged down at the start? And that's another car off. I think that's oh, let's just take a quick look. That was Richard Avery in his GoPro FW31. Anthony Kopek there just forming up behind him after both of them got involved. Alright, sorry about that. We just joined the session a little bit late and barely got enough time to breathe before the start of this race. Couple of new faces on the grid this week as well, drivers that I haven't seen, so perhaps not the first place you want your first race to be is at Sebring.
No, definitely not. I think even Suzuka would be classed as being fairly easy compared to this one. Spa next week as well.
Right, apparently we've still got some technical glitches going on, so could be the one problem when we only have 2 minutes to get ready for a session. Right, back on the action. Have you managed to get yourself loaded in yet at all, Woody?
No, I sent you a text.
Yeah, I've sent you the details.
Yeah, I've sent you another one.
Oh. No, there's nothing I can do.
Right. Okay. It's all right. I found the live stream, so we'll try see what we can do.
I might need to get. Might need to ask someone to jump up, mate.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm here to save the day.
Thank you, Dean. Must have heard it on the broadcast. Yeah, a few technical problems. Woody tuning in from hotel room and connection just a bit lousy. So yeah. Right, Dean, you've been watching, because I sure as heck haven't. What's been going on? Kazuki leading the way, coming under a bit of pressure from Timu. And actually Timu up the inside, and Kazuki takes a whole load of the bumps on the outside there, spins the car around. It's going to return into traffic and, oh, well, Friction Racing car, I don't know what they were doing there. They had enough opportunity to get out of the way of that, but just ploughed into the back of Kazuki.
Well, it's just a bit of race so far, really. From the start to couple of turns in, and then what was that? Richard Avery having a little spin as well.
Yeah, Richard obviously big problems at the start as well, off of the grid. Can be tricky to get the cars off the line here. Obviously the concrete surface just a little bit more slippy than the asphalt out there.
Right, so let's just catch up. We got Samuel De La Fuente in second. Timu's not pulling much of a lead, but he's up in first place. Rafa Bode in third. He'll be delighted with that. And then we've got quite a gap back down to Montanez. Again, started ninth on the grid. Already up into P4, so
Yeah, just looking at the retirements that we have at the moment. So we've got Matt Hannigan out, Kazuki out, Benjamin Lindsay out. I think he was one of the newcomers that I was mentioning. So I think, Dean, that was who you messaged me to say you went into the wall. Javier
I think it was
out, and Ramses out as well. So yeah, a lot going off, and Richard Avery just putting a little move on the inside of this final corner.
Cyrus. Yeah, difficult track again this week. Sebring. One of the 2 splits this week, so
It's kind of very, very similar to Virginia in the kind of way you either love it or hate it again. So I think this is why we're seeing smaller turnouts again this week. Oh, we've got another car around. I think that's Anthony Kopek. Seems to be struggling out there.
yeah, he wasn't too far behind Louis Baboni.
And we've got Justin Lindsay spinning, and I think that's also Richard Avery going around again. Cirrus coming through the pair of them.
Well, seems all the hype of a new tyre model doesn't seem to be working around Sebring on this rock-solid concrete surface.
Yeah, always a very, very slippy track, this one, and I think just the bumps just are playing havoc with everybody here, so it can be quite a compromise. You know, you set the car up to ride the bump smooth, so it doesn't do anything unpredictable, or just go for raw pace and performance, and just trying to avoid those bumps you best you can.
Seeing cones.
I was about to say, it's interesting to see cones just absolutely littered everywhere.
Yeah, got Richard Avery putting some pressure on Justin Lindsay.
And in the background we could see there, I think that was Anthony Kopek with a cone stuck on his front wing.
Indeed, I think he's... no. Seems to be flying here, there and everywhere. But still sticking where it is. Back up front, Justin again under some pressure. Richard having a look into turn 3. Tight technical section. Careful to not touch any of the curbs there, it will throw the car around completely. Justin got the better from Anthony there. Richard, sorry. Obviously the draft is helping Justin keep up with Sirius, however you pronounce it. Justin carrying a lot of speed through the corner, but maybe compromising a little bit on the exit.
Yeah, just having a look at the lap times. Obviously last time by, well, we know Justin had the mistake, so Richard some 2 seconds quicker, but how much quicker are we this season supposed to last? I mean, it's looking like almost a couple of seconds out there again.
You'll have to work that one out. Unfortunately, Alex, I wasn't here last season, sorry.
Oh, you know what? I will do just that now. Just have a quick look.
Yeah, again, just seeing Justin seems to be struggling through the last few sectors, but he's pretty quick through this first sector. Just seems to leave Richard Avery in the dust a little bit.
Pole position of 31.8. So
So a full second quicker this season.
Yeah,
Richard,
well,
Samuel
yeah,
de la Fuente.
second and a half really, wasn't he? Because Samuel down into the .3s as well. So
No, Samuel was a 130.7.
yeah, Daniel Lopez. Sorry, there as a .3. So. Daniel not racing this week. Haven't seen him on track.
So there's 3 at the front still remain as is. Samuel's still leading the way. Running a little bit wide onto the grass for the final turn. Timu following just behind along with Rafa. Montanez maybe looks like he's closing up a little bit this time.
Yeah, well, Timu had got past Samuel at some point. I'm just seeing it on my timing screen. So something must have gone on off camera that we didn't see.
And Justin is also past Cyrus. Cyrus runs a little bit wide, in fact very wide through turn 1.
Yeah, looks like he's dropped down behind Justin as well. Let's just take a quick look at that back, see what happened.
Looks like he's dropping way back off this. The pace that he was on, he should be pretty close to these guys, I would have thought. But this now releases Justin as well as Richard, so let's see if either of these two can catch up to Frank Levick just ahead.
Yeah, it looked like Sarah was just more concerned about finishing there. Didn't want to get involved in anything, so left plenty of room. But like you say, it's he's pretty much lost the draft of the cars ahead already.
Yeah, it definitely is a place where you either love it or you hate it. Once you're in the rhythm of this place, again, it's very rewarding. Just be careful of some of these curbs. One bump and you're flying off course. Final turn, Sunset Bend is always very difficult.
Yeah, it appears Timu is getting ever closer to Samuel again ahead. Gap just about 1 second. Rafa staying in touch quite well, and then yeah, Montanez about 5.5 seconds behind at the moment, so seems to be falling back a little bit. But still, 4th place, split race that we've had should just about get the kind of points that he's after. I mean, guys are looking for around about that 180 to 200 mark as a minimum for their week's points if they're going to sort of fight for those top 10 positions, which is what they need for the pro license.
Yeah, just looking back, it looks like Frank is not enjoying this track. They're mid 34s compared to Justin and Richard just behind, who are in the low 34s to high 33s.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Maybe that battle will start to form up. Long old race today, 38 laps, just 8 laps down at the moment.
Richard putting ever more pressure on Justin now, so let's have a look at top speeds. Frank's 302, Justin also 302. So down that back straight, pretty evenly matched. Looks like Richard's got a good run through Sunset Bend. Just doesn't seem to be able to pull it, but has a look at the inside. Justin gives him the room. And 2 wide through 2. Into 3 again. Justin still giving him room, but got the position held.
Yeah, I'm just actually watching this back on replay at the moment. As yeah, it's just definitely one of those days, not caught back up with the live action.
And again, Richard hounding the back of Justin. Looks up to the inside into the hairpin. Looks like Richard's got it done. Justin went to turn in, spotted him at the last minute and thought better of it again. Richard's through. Justin needs to stick onto the back of him to catch up to Frank.
Yeah, just finished watching his back and we'll get to the live action for all. Yeah, we're just seeing on screen now. Should getting that moved. Yeah, like you say, Justin seemed to let him have it once he got alongside him. There's no point in trying to force too wide at the hairpin there.
Also seen Anthony Kopeck in the pits. I wonder if that's to remove the cone. That puts him a lap down, and all the while Timu's getting ever so closer to De La Fuente. So it's GT Ross versus Inex. Ooh, a little mistake there from Samuel.
Yeah, these two had quite a good battle earlier on today. I saw in one of the previous races. Unfortunately, a bit of nick code ended it a bit prematurely. But I'm sure the guys will be aware of that this time. We'll just give each other that little bit more room. This team who plows through the cones on the outside. Those marshals are going to have to do a lot of legwork today, I think. Sticking them back there.
You'll have to be careful with the cones. We saw week 1 when they were first brought in Indianapolis.
Yeah, this is the only other real track that we've had an issue with them. You know, there's that many here, you have to be so careful. But yeah, you get one lodged underneath that front wing, you're going to know about it. The understeer that it's produced from having that there.
Just had to reboot the sim. A slight graphic bug.
Ooh, Samuel gets all kinds of out of shape into the hairpin. Timu alongside. Move is done and dusted before the next corner. Just a little bit sideways going in there. Just got it all crossed up. Had to steer into it, catch that. But yeah, couldn't do it in time, and Samuel down into second place.
And with the pace Samuel's been showing, it won't be too long before he's back onto the tail of him. Sebring obviously had the draft those last few laps, as that's a car getting way out of the way.
Yeah, Cyprian there, he's had some sort of an issue because he's had a couple of pit stops. No, just the one, sorry, so perhaps involved in that start line incident that we saw.
So getting out of the way of Rafa.
Let's just take a quick look at that start again, see what happened. Rasmus that got himself all out of shape, spun up over to the right, collected 1, 2, 3, 4 cars there. Anthony, yeah, pretty much everyone who's retired apart from I think Matt and Kazuki, who had their own separate incident later on. Back to the action up front. And yeah, Samuel got a bit between his teeth, trying to catch back up.
Just having a quick flick back through and Paulo Acurso into the hairpin. Pretty much copying what Samuel did a few laps ago. Luckily to get away with it. The battle just behind this with Frank Levick and Richard Avery. Pretty soon to be heating up again. Not sure where Justin's got to. He
Yeah,
seems to have dropped off the back.
Just a couple of seconds behind these two even. Yeah, Justin himself's got a 3.1 second lead over Sirius, so he's pretty safe. He just needs to focus on the guys ahead at the minute and try and catch them up.
Yeah, definitely Richard's putting the pressure on Frank. Frank maybe not showing the pace that he's shown in previous weeks. But here we go, Richard lines him up again into turn 1. Seems to be one of his favourite places to pass.
Yeah, stuck his nose in there, just gets the guys worried a little bit. Again, down into turn 1. Frank just about holds on, but he's definitely struggling in that car. He just jumped on board there for a moment. You can see very, very nervous going through turns 2, 3, 4.
Richard around the outside. That's some very brave manoeuvres there from Richard. It's paid off for him.
I mean, his qualifying position shows that he feels pretty confident here and quite quick, and I think he was talking on the forum, saying that he felt good around here, so shows it there around the outside of Frank Levick. I'll have to confirm some of the points later on, but I think this was pretty much a disaster for Kazuki, because obviously he's got some missed rounds already and like a 15-point drop round, and I don't think he scored at all this week. So that incident he had earlier on, where basically Matt unfortunately run into the back of him on the last turn, could well cost him a really strong position in this overall championship. He's running a really decent average point, but Matt Hannigan as well, that was the last thing Matt needed. He also needs the good points finishing at the moment. And actually, I think Javier might be in a very, very similar position as well. So not good for those three drivers. Justin Lindsay now starting to put the pressure on Frank Levick.
Yeah, maybe in a lap or two. Maybe side by side. He's seen what Richard can do. Maybe Justin's learnt from it and might take it into consideration.
Still Samuel De La Fuente putting the pressure on Timu. That said, I think this time Bai's just had a little bit of a bad lap, indeed. Timu pulls away some 0.6 of a second there.
Just getting word from LJ, the guy who does all the team standings. Kazuki's done 6 weeks counted and is on 1,035 points.
Yes, still got plenty of enough drop rounds in hands, but certainly going to put pressure on a little bit. Like some other driver that we know even. He's going to have to stick a load of good races in the last 4 of the season. Still, Justin Lindsay works his way closer and closer towards the rear end. That friction racing FW31. See the difference coming out of the hairpin there. Frank just absolutely lit it up. Could visually see how much he pulled away. So Justin perhaps a little bit nervous in getting the power down on that car today.
Yeah, good to see Justin with some newfound confidence though. Ooh, Sirius gets a little bit sideways in the back. But yeah, it just seems to be the last few sectors for Justin. He drops off a little bit. Ever closer and closer. 3:06 in the drop for Justin. Takes a tighter line around Sunset. Gives him a wider exit though.
Yeah, Sebring staying way out the way. Go into turn 1. Yeah, I think if Justin wants to score some big points this season, now's the time to do it. He's sitting 8th place at the moment. 7th right in front of him. Richard Avery not too far up the road. Paolo seems to be struggling in 5th as well.
Justin a little bit on the grass. So it's a very bumpy, I think that was called Watchtower Corner. Just seen Matt Hannigan in the register interview, Alex. I'm just going to pull him up.
Yeah, do indeed.
Good evening, Matt.
Alright guys, hello.
Not the best of starts for you this week, but take us through it.
No, it wasn't. Well, I just came around the final corner and I saw Kazuki sort of 90 degrees to me, going to the right, I thought. So obviously I couldn't take my normal line, so I left a little bit, and he turns, and then it just left me nowhere to go, really, which was a shame.
Oh, that would make sense, because it almost looked on the stream from the angle route like it turned into him. Yeah, it was like, what's he doing?
I can imagine it might have looked a little bit like that. But yeah, because the first thing I saw of him was him 90 degrees, like going to the right side of the track. So, obviously your instinct is to keep going, because then he's going to make some space for you. But then obviously, because he turned left, I just had nowhere to go.
Yeah, I mean, how does that affect you with points for this week? I mean, what sort of a week have you had overall? And, obviously we're round 8 now, so people are starting to look at drop rounds and things like that. Where are you sitting and how does that affect you?
I think that might be my road to pro over. I think, to be honest, I'm going to struggle to get in the final, because I'm on 6 weeks now, including this week, which was a pretty poor week. I mean, unless the next one splits. And then, I don't know, I'm going to struggle to get in the next 2 weeks, and I think that'll be it for me. So just the 8 weeks with this drop. Well, with this one it should be a drop. Yeah. So yeah, that might be it for me, possibly.
Well, I hope it's not, and wish you all the best of the luck in the next races that you can do, and touch some wood and fingers crossed and all that kind of gubbins that we get a split race for you in the next one.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean it's not too much of a loss though. I mean I was never going to get out of the Pro Series anyway, but it would have been fun.
Well, yeah, that's what it's all about, really. It's the experience, isn't it? As you build up confidence in the car, you'd have had that experience under your belt to bounce back for the next one if you stick it out.
Yeah, no, hopefully next 2014 it'll be alright. I'll get a pro license earlier, hopefully this time. We'll see.
Well, unlucky today, mate, and
right, thanks.
We'll see you when you're next back.
Alright, cheers guys. In a bit.
Matt Hannigan, Friction Racing there. Still watching this battle here. Frank Levick, Matt Hannigan's teammate there, holding up Justin Lindsay, our teammate.
Yeah, Justin not finding a way past just yet.
Definitely.
We know he struggles.
Yeah, he definitely needs to take a leaf out of Richard's book, I think. Go for it, round down the outside of the hairpin. Go on, Justin, son, have a go. Just don't do it while he's in front of you.
Yeah, struggles on his single screen does Justin, but so do many of other people.
Yeah, there's one thing about Sebring. A lot of people think actually there's some real good opportunities to overtake, but can actually be quite tricky to get one lined up. I mean, you've got these couple of long straights, but the speed of the Williams, you just get the straights done and dusted so quickly. And we also run quite high downforce here for the most part, and that just makes overtaking even harder. You're right, he's definitely quick through this first sector. This is where he needs to get the run down into the hairpin, but I think it's going in he's fast. It's the coming out of the corners he's struggling to get the power down.
Yeah, maybe just needs to drop back off and then get the run in. Down into the hairpin would be better for him, but he's just not quite seen it yet.
And what we haven't seen, I believe, was Samuel De La Fuente. Oh no, he's not, I lie. I thought he was back in front of Timu for a minute, but 2.5 seconds is the gap still.
Also just got a cheeky word from Matt, who we just heard from. Frank's actually in a no-stopper again.
Ah, well that might explain why perhaps he's just a little bit slow out there. Cue the radio message to Justin, tell him to get past now.
So in fact this is actually holding Justin up, but playing into the hands of Frank. Now how long is a pit stop around here? It's quite a long pit lane. But Richard just in front of this. Richard's actually starting to close up on Paolo Acurso.
Yeah, about a second between them at the moment. You know, Paolo is a fairly aggressive defender, so Richard's not going to find it as easy to overtake as he did Frank.
Timu still continues to pull away from Samuel. Would have expected Samuel to be right up with Timu at the minute.
Yeah, 0.3 of a second that last time by.
Maybe a little bit more fuel in Samuel's car, but
Actually, just looking at the gap between Paolo and Richard, Paolo actually was just a fraction quicker that time around. Not much, but just a little bit. That's all he needs to do, to be fair, just to keep him at bay. While he's this far back, he can't really make a move, so.
oh, and Justin just having a quick look back. It looks like he's got a run on Frank. Pulls out of the slipstream, coming into Sunset Bend.
Yeah, this is the opportunity he needs. Got to take it now. Frank takes the very wide line. Will try and sweep back and perhaps get a run going down into turn 1. Not sure he's going to get enough of a run though. Here he comes. Justin's got the move done and dusted. He has. And defended.
So that now releases Justin to try and make something of this. I'm not quite sure what strategy Justin's on. Tends to keep it nice and simple, does Justin, rather than the odd few of us that like to go a little bit longer than everybody else. Oh, as Justin's got a little bit deep into the hairpin, gets away with it though. You can see there Frank's already starting to drop off the back of Justin.
Yeah, it just goes to show that he was holding him up on that no stop fuel.
Just wondered if those extra few laps that he was behind has actually helped Frank.
Well, I have to say, I think it's going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible, for Justin to build up a lead and come back at Frank here now. Unless something happens, of course.
And just looking up the road again, Richard Avery's getting ever so closer to Paolo Acurso.
Yeah, I think, and we've got Montanez in the pits as well.
That's a little bit early, lap 22. Richard Avery's right on the back of Paolo.
You have to say Frank's in a good position at this point. He could... has he jumped? Montanez.
No, Montanez is just coming just in front.
So, didn't quite work out for him, and it was only just as well. But now's the time to try and get past him. Tyres will be slightly colder than normal. A little bit slippier. I have to get that run. Get in front now and try and build a second or so lead.
Yeah, Frank's definitely going for it.
Yeah, I've seen Jorge was sat in 4th place at the time, so that'll be a net good finish if Frank can get himself in front. Putting a lot
While
of
all that was
pressure
going on,
on.
actually looks like we've had
Round
Justin
the
in the
outside,
pits as well.
sorry Frank, round the outside of the tricky bumpy right hand corner. Great little move. And I think perhaps Montanez doesn't realise that he's on a no stop, so he's going all the way to the end. Like I said, he's cold tyres at the moment. He'll be struggling out there with it. Frank flying out there now.
Also got Richard Avery just jumping into the pits. Thought he'd maybe had a little bit of an accident, but I just caught him at the wrong time. But
Yeah, and here comes
Richard's
Frank.
in the
So
pits.
if he is indeed on that no stop, how the picture changes somewhat. We've gone from somebody who looked like he was perhaps struggling a little bit out there to someone who looks quietly confident actually of a good finish here. Yeah, Richard Avery come out, plenty of gap between him and Justin.
Just seen the leaders starting to come into some traffic. In fact, I think that is Justin just in front with Timo. Indeed it is. Justin gets out of the way. Seems this race is flying by us, Alex.
Yeah,
24 now.
Yeah, just the 14 to go. Still got the 12 cars on, so after those first couple of laps, haven't really lost many more.
Just seen Anthony Kopeck taking the long run off.
I was about to say, I thought I could hear a car somewhere else. Couldn't spot him.
Yeah, Anthony knows he's out of this race pretty much, so he's just driving around for the safety and iRacing.
Timu's still pulling away up front, but very, very slowly. Although that said, Samuel just marginally fast that time by, but 3-second gap is quite a sufficient little buffer zone going into the pit stop phase.
Samuel's a little bit deep coming onto the back straight.
Yeah, gets himself past Justin. Yeah, you're right. I think he lost about 4, maybe half a second with that.
Team is 31.
Yeah, let's have a look. Just across the 32.1 actually, so more like 1.1 seconds.
So Paulo Acurso still yet to make a pit stop. He's running nicely in 4th. Rafa again still not made his pit stop. He's in 3rd.
Yeah, actually the top 5 still to pit. Obviously we know Frank's going the whole way. I wonder if the plans are for Timu and Sam to go the full distance as well. Rafa out there. See, Rafa's lapping. To say Rafa's lapping quite slow as well. I mean, his fastest lap is 1:31.844, which is 0.8 of a second slower than De La Fuente. But I just don't see him being a second lap slower. Most other tracks he's been fairly similar on pace, so I wonder if he's going extremely long, if not no stopping as well. Yeah, Paolo's got quite a considerable lead or gap over to Frank Levick, so he's not got to worry about him. I don't know if he pits. It's going to be close. We saw how close it was to Montanez, so...
Timu's just in the pits. He's on his way out now.
Yeah, quick stop, 3.5 seconds, splash and dash.
Yeah, it's got to do your jump on Paolo. Have to be careful of Rafa though if he's maybe looking at this no stopper.
Yeah, obviously Rafa just leaving the hairpin now, so he's got quite a considerable jump if that is the case.
Let's see if Samuel comes in this lot round. Takes a wide entrance, definitely slowing it down, and in comes Samuel.
26, so just a 12 lap stint. That one extra lap is going to draw himself back closer to Timu, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough.
Timu's just coming down the back straight, just about to enter Sunset Bend.
Yeah, I think, is that Rafa in the background as well? I think it is.
Indeed it is.
Stick with the camera and see if we can see Timu coming down the straight. Here he comes.
Here goes Samuel.
Not going to get to
Samuel's now out.
It was close, but in the end quite easy for Timu. That lead he built up was more than enough. I think had Samuel had just maybe 1 or even 2 laps more fuel, that might have made all the difference.
Now that is interesting. Paolo's just jumped up into 3rd position. Rafa's just exiting now.
Yeah, Paolo hasn't pitted yet either.
Ooh. Montanez sliding around Sunset Bend as Sirius Cyrus will get it right in the end. He jumps into the pits. And there comes Richard Avery. Gaining another position back, he's now P7. Nali Baboni's still yet to pit, I believe. He's coming around for another lap. I'm not quite sure what's happened with Justin.
Yeah, way down in 10th place. And
Just coming over the start finish now. But he was some way in front of Cyrus, who's just pitted.
yeah, he pitted quite early though, and just looking at his lap times, once he's come out from the pits, 134s he's been doing, so it's been pretty easy for Cyrus just to get the jump, and Paolo comes into the pits as well, so that just leaves Frank Levick. It's going to be interesting to see where Levick comes out. I get the feeling he's going to get himself past.
Yeah, Levick's just coming into Sunset Bend now. Paolo, okay, so just building his revs up. And there's Frank at the side of him. Frank up into P4. And that's Montanez as well. Well, Paolo's gone down to P5.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see Paolo down there. Did he get any kind of pit lane speeding penalty or something there? Because it was, oh no, he was behind Montanez, wasn't he, before he pitted? I'll tell him. I thought he was in front.
So there we go, pit stop phase is done. Just keep an eye on Frank Levick just in case he does need to pit. But his pace has definitely picked up, 32.6 last lap round.
Montanez off in the got the hairpin, he's trying to control it, get it back on the track as quickly as possible. Paolo's got past. Who's coming? Is this?
That's
It's
Richard.
Manages to hold on to that position, but he's going to be under a lot of pressure here now. 10 laps to go. 3 seconds is the lead that Timo has over De La Fuente, who's some 19.9 seconds ahead of Rafa, who has a very comfortable 13.2 seconds to Frank Levick. Those guys look pretty much locked in should they all manage to survive the race. This battle, however, is just about to hot up. I also don't think that Paolo's home and dry as well. I think they could well catch him up. 3.1 seconds ahead. Just depends how much they fight and defend themselves.
Yeah, we know Richard can get the moves done when he needs to do it, but he's not done it up against Montanez, who's been quick so far this race.
Yeah, and Frank also was on heavier fuel load as well, which made it pretty easy for him to drive around the outside.
Just a little bit tentative through there was Montanez.
And you can see Richard got a heck of a run there, but has to get out of it. We want to stay as close as possible through this section. Leads onto the back straight. Seem to have lost just a little bit of a time. Does indeed. It's tricky through there. The dirty air don't half affect you. Montanez still felt the need to go a tiny little bit defensive down the straight, just trying to break the draft. Ever closer to Paolo ahead.
Montanez starting to find his rhythm again. He's definitely putting Richard with him. Richard got a better line there.
Yeah, I was about to say he got a much better run.
Around the outside he comes. On the inside. Gets it stopped both of them. Montanez plenty of room. Ooh. A little bit of a twitch.
Yeah. Yeah, major twitch. I'm not sure about a little bit of one. But yeah, that was a good move from Richard. You see he was on hammering the anchors on there. His car was twitching under braking. Good
It's always a risky move to go around the outside there. It does get a little bit bumpy and it just feels unnatural trying to not turn as much. But definitely good move. Seems to be losing Montanez as well already, so watch out Paolo Acurso. Richard Avery's on his way. Lap 31, he's only got 7 laps to do it.
Yeah, now he needs to show us that qualifying pace that he had. 8 laps. Bang in everyone as quick as possible.
Oh, as Paolo's a little bit of a moment into the hairpin. Cost him a few seconds as Anthony Kopeck disconnects. Got all Star Wars on you.
Yeah, 2 laps back from Cyprian. I think he realised that even if he was going to drive around now, he wasn't going to get many more places, so he's managed to recover the safety and I rating loss the best he probably can.
Seems like one guy we forgot about was Louis Baboni. Still unsure if he's pitted.
Yeah, still showing as no
He's
stops
up in-
on my screen, 8th
He's
place.
up in 8th.
Louis was caught in that start line incident as well, so had he not been involved in that, trying to avoid that, shall we say, he might well have been another 20 seconds up the road. Which would have put him right in the mix between Richard and Montanez. Paolo's
Richard's
car just
definitely-
looking a little bit nervous over the bumps in turn 1.
Yeah, Richard's definitely going to move a full second quicker than Paolo that last lap. And he seems to be bringing Montanez with him, does Richard? Front Levick's looking comfortable up in 4th position.
Yeah,
No stopper's doing him well.
Must have got about 7. No, it's just a little bit more than that. It's quite a gap actually.
Yeah, it's looking more like 10-11 seconds. Rafa Baudet still sitting comfortable as well in 3rd. He's had a bit of a lonely race as Rafa. Samuel struggling along in 2nd. Team who's definitely put the hammer down and pulled away since he got past.
Yeah, gap last time by 5.7 seconds, so very comfortable. That said, 0.2 of a faster last time by was Samuel, so I think it's all just a little bit too late. Actually, I think with 6 laps to go, Richard, he's going to need to pick up the pace just a little bit more if he's going to get himself up to the back of Paolo.
He's definitely got the pace on Paolo. He does seem to be reeling him in ever so much. Can just hear Paolo's maybe a little bit tentative on the accelerator. As Richards feels very comfortable with the car, he's planted.
Yeah,
Team
is-
is showing us,
yeah, as I say, still flying out there, so
definitely giving us a bit of a masterclass. 31.006.
yeah, 7th in yesterday's iRacing World Championship Series race at Suzuka. Bounces straight back over to Sebring and puts on a show like this. Just shows the quality of the driver.
Coming up on back markers again. I think the guys just ahead of him are in position. It's Justin and Cyrus. Cyrus looks like he's got the better of Justin though.
Yeah, I'm not really
33.4.
sure what sort of happened to the pace of Justin. Certainly dropped off massively since the pit stops. Even compared to what he was doing. So, yeah, unusual.
Richard's just got 4 more laps to catch up to Paolo. He's got a 3-second gap to pull back.
Yeah, let's just
Every
jump
time
on
I
board
look.
with Richard. Can see Paolo ahead, but just looks a long way away with just 4 laps to go, or 3 as it will be this time by. is still 4, sorry, because it's done from Timu. Yeah, Sebring track. A little bit tricky. I haven't done a lap round here, so I can't really give you a judge, but that first sector, very important, just to cover the gas a little bit, keep the car under control all the time, use as much of the track. This hairpin corner, use the cones on the left to pick your braking point. Nicely done, great apex there, uses all the curves, straightens up the exit. Again, just try and make this sweeping section as flat out, as straight as possible. Again, spot your braking marker, which is the cones on the left. Oh, a little bit anxious getting on the power packs of fraction early there, just over-rotates the car. This very, very tricky, bumpy right-hander. Usually can take it quite fast actually. It's something the drivers have to get used to, is that once you get the downforce levels planted, you can throw it into that corner and the car does stick. This right, left, right section leads you onto the back straight. Again, ever so important to get that right. Lots of time could be gained or lost down this back straight if you just get poor exits the previous corner. Final corner, we see so many lines through here every week. Bumps are everywhere. You can try and avoid them, you can do whatever you want, but you ultimately still hit some. And that's a lap of Sebring International.
I'm sure one of our fans will be disappointed that it was yourself doing the onboard rather than me. Yeah, give another shout out to LJ actually. Does very well with the team points. Gives us something to look forward to during the midweek.
Yeah, no more shout-outs for LJ. He's got a big enough head as it is. Won't get out of the team speak door.
I'm sure we could give him a little nudge on the way.
Now all credit to him. Spends the time and does the table, and also to Charles Sears actually as well, who does the rookie championships as well. So yeah, it's good that he's tracking that data and whatnot. Just makes it a bit more intriguing for those drivers that aren't just purely going for the pro license. Yeah, 2 laps to go then, this time by for Richard. He's not really closed the gap up anywhere near enough, just 2/10 the last time by. Let's see what it's going to be. I mean, you can see him on the same shot, but just think it's all done and dusted. De Fuente's got quite a gap to Bordeaux, as has Levick.
Also Cyrus and Justin as well. It seems like pretty much every battle has come to a halt. Timu coming around to start his final lap. Still in the 30s. 31.004, so he's lapping consistently. He's not took the foot off the accelerator, has he? So
no, this one thing you see from the guys that are running at the front, you know, even if they're not really being challenged, they sort of, you know, race themselves against the clock, really trying to get the quickest race times they can get out there. Samuel's done a hell of a job today just to keep that gap under 10 seconds, but yeah, ultimately he just didn't have enough for Timu.
and all credit to Rafa as well as Frank.
Yeah, Frank out of the box strategy there with his no stopper. Made it work. Car was heavy to start off with. He was losing no end of time. He's got good pace now. You have to think that maybe, just maybe, he might have had a chance at a top 3. As Timu works his way down the back straight for the last time. Round 8 of the iRacing Grand Prix Series Road to Pro. The broadcast SRF races honours are going to fall to Timo. Team INX, fantastic race. Doesn't count as far as the points are concerned though, already holding that coveted licence. The man who will be more delighted, I think, out there is Samuel De La Fuente. Another good, solid performance, second place in strength for field, and Rafa as well coming down now. He's going to take a third. These guys all going to hit themselves 200 points this week. Not easy to do here at Sebring. Drove solid. Got themselves the points they need. Frank Levick as well. He's going to come across in fourth. I'm not sure how many points are going to be up for Sam, whether or not he's going to get 200. I expect it will probably be something like 180 or 190 points, but as we've discussed earlier on, that can be enough. And he's extremely happy with that result as well, looking at him weaving all over the track. Richard Avery indeed couldn't get to the back of Paolo Curso, who comes across in 5th place. And Richard does take 6. Montanez, just bit of a lackluster second stint. Had 4th place at one point, I think. And yeah, let it slip through his fingers, finishing way down in 7th place. Louis Biboni, the final car on the lead lap, comes round the last corner. Considering he had to take avoiding action at the start of the race, that's a heck of a drive to stay on that lead lap and finish in 8th place. Well, Dean, thank you for stepping in after we had some technical issues at the start. Took us a little while just to get back into the rhythm with that.
It's not a problem, because you must set the PC back up, wasn't it?
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, so 38 laps then of Sebring International Raceway. Timo taking the victory, 8.9 seconds ahead. De La Fuente some 32 seconds ahead of Rafa. And Frank Levick, Paolo Acursa, your top 5. Those that didn't finish: Anthony Kopek, Matt Hannigan, Kazuki Omiyashima, Benjamin Lindsay, Javier, and Rasmus. Dean's kindly linked me the results. So 230 points for De Fuente.
I'm sure those guys who didn't turn up this week will be kicking themselves.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Some good points on offer.
Let's see if I can get it on screen just so people can see. Yeah, 246 for Timu, 230, 215 for Raf, 199 for Frank, so as good as 200 for him. Paolo Acursa, 184, Richard Avery, 169, and Montanez, 153. Louis Biboni already scored more than the 138. Justin Lindsay, 107, sorry, Cyrus. We'll get there. He needs to come on and confirm it. 123 points. Everybody else had already scored more that week.
Just waiting for a few guys to jump in. If we have got any, I can see Front Levick's just joined. Not a few others that may join.
Yeah, we'll go to a quick break and we'll get the interviews in just after that.
Take your hobby to the next level with a quality racing rig that works great with a PS3, Xbox 360, and a PC. GT Omega Racing Simulator is compatible with a wide range of steering wheels, including Logitech, Fanatic, Thrustmaster, and more. The GT Omega is available now worldwide by going to www.gtomegaracing.com.
Welcome back to Aero TV. Sorry about the technical glitches that we have had today. Let's just grab Mr. Levick up for a quick interview. Hi Frank, how you doing, mate?
Good, how you doing, Alex?
Yeah, all good. Well done today. 4th place. Run that no-stop strategy. Surprised all of he surprised us in here, and surprised the guys out on the track, I think, there. 199 points. Tell me a little bit about your race and how that's how it pleased you with those points at the end.
Well, starting off with qualifying, I pretty much gave up. I think I only had a 131.7, and I had no chance if I was going to do a one-stop. So I figured I'd catch a lot of people off guard. But during the race, I noticed that I didn't have enough fuel to actually finish, so I ended up conserving during the, I think, about 10 laps after everyone started pitting. A little bit stressful driving, having to deal with some drivers and then save some fuel. So pretty hectic race.
Well, save fuel you did. 4th place, 199 points, as I was just saying. That's going to go a long way to your chances for Road to Pro, I would think.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd get any good points this week, especially seeing my queue.
Well, it's a bit of a love-hate relationship with this track, as we've been mentioning earlier on. I think all the tracks like that are done and dusted now. So, of the remaining schedule, any particular tracks that are standing out that you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Suzuka. I've traditionally done very well there.
And obviously next week we're at Spa, which is notoriously strong for most drivers. It seems everybody always ups their game for that track. Bit tricky. See a lot of accidents going into Turn 1 and Lacombe. So what are you hoping for that week?
I'm hoping at least 180 points. I've never really been that great at Spa. Just have to make sure that we all get past whoever, like Grosjean's line at Turn 1.
Yeah. Well, just want to basically congratulate you on a nice little strategy today, and 4th place and some solid points, and good progress on your chance for your Road to Pro license.
Also like to make a quick shout out to the ARC team. Currently got a promo going on at the moment. If you visit our website at friction-racing.com, you can find on how you can get a little discount.
Yeah, I did actually. I did see that. There were. We'll talk off air. Don't go anywhere. I need to talk to you about something. But yeah, so yeah, go check them out and get your discount. That'll be great. And it's nice that you've opened it up to everybody in the community as well. So nice one on that.
That sound foreboding.
No, it's fine, mate. No worries. But yeah, thanks, Frank. I'll catch you in in a minute. But congrats again, and I'll see you on track next week.
All right, you too. Thanks.
Alright, Frank Levitt there, Friction Racing. So in a Friction Racing interview day today, and no one else in the channel. So we'll wrap the show up, Dean.
Yeah, I did try and get all of Justin, but he seems to be sulking in a corner, so...
Yeah, well. We'll leave him there. Just to summarise again, Samuel and Timo had their great little battle, but in the end, Timo had the best of it. Rafa, 3rd place, solid performance. Frank Levick, those 3 guys really the main people that will be ecstatic with the results from this week. Sebring, you never really know what you're going to get at Sebring, whether or not you're going to bring home any points or not. So, not too many splits this week, but certainly more than what we had at Virginia. So, yeah, Spa will be next week, and that will split something crazy, I would think. Might even see some Friday afternoon races if we're lucky. But yeah, sorry Dean, I'm just going to wrap it up completely here, mate, and get everybody to tune in same time next week for another Road to Pro round 9. We'll be here, and I'm sure it will be an absolute cracker. But to everybody tuned in, thanks once again, and we'll see you then.